Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome back for another dose of nightmare fuel. And this one's been a long time coming. As a lifelong Doctor Who fan, I've been used to many monsters and aliens from across the cosmos threatening our hero, the Doctor, and his string of companions. Everything from the Daleks, to the Cybermen, to the Sontarans. But there hasn't been a monster or a single episode in the show's near 60-year history that has had quite the fear factor or impact as this. It's time to go back to 2007 for episode 10 of series 3, Blink. Blink helped to launch the career of Carey Mulligan, who has gone on to a huge amount of success in Hollywood, and here she plays Sally Sparrow, a freelance photographer who breaks into a notorious abandoned house with a dark history named Wester Drumlands. She first goes into Wester Drumlands with her friend Kathy, and we see that the house is surrounded and occupied by human-sized stone angel statues. They're freaky enough as it is, until they move, but we never see them move. It's as if they move in the blink of an eye. Well, that's because they do. Allow me to introduce the Weeping Angels, an ancient alien race that are quantum locked, meaning that they cannot move if they're being observed by a living being. But as soon as they aren't being looked at, they can move faster than you can imagine. Turning your head, looking away, or even simply blinking can make them leap forward several feet, and that is incredibly daunting as a concept. Another trick they have up their sleeves, which is by far the more frightening, is their ability to teleport living beings to any point in time and space with a single touch. Kathy is touched and sent back to Hull in 1920, despite only a second ago being in 2007 London. The Weeping Angels do this so that they can feed off the time energy from the days you would have lived. And what's brilliant about the structure of the episode is that after Kathy is sent back, Sally is met with a stranger arriving at the house, claiming to be Kathy's grandson, despite Kathy not even having kids. We see the shifts in time and the people it impacts through Sally's perspective, so the jarring nature has such velocity in engaging you. She even befriends a young detective named Billy Shipton, and they're flirtatious with each other. But then Billy is also zapped back in time to 1969 New York, where he encounters the Doctor and his companion Martha. They've also been zapped back by the Angels, and the Doctor's time and spaceship, the TARDIS, is stranded in the basement of Wester Drumlands, so he needs Billy to help them out by delivering a message to Sally. But Billy's stuck in 1969 and Sally's in 2007, so that means he has to wait a while. The next time Sally sees Billy, he's now an old dying man in a hospital bed. Again, this is an incredible scene since Sally has just met Billy. He's in his 20s, and just hours later he's on his literal deathbed. The concept behind this episode is genius and only gets better. This is from Sally getting some help from Kathy's brother, Lawrence, who owns a DVD shop. He's extremely thrown off by how few DVDs Sally owns, but they all have a link to each other in that each of them contains the exact same Easter egg, a video of the Doctor talking out loud. But it's like half a conversation, the other half is missing. In Wester Drumlands, Lawrence and Sally actually have that conversation when they watch the DVD. Lawrence transcribes the conversation, and the Doctor explains Sally gives him the transcript so he knows exactly what she says. This is so well written, as a conversation between two people is happening 38 years apart, and the timeline elements here written by Stephen Moffat are exquisite. But let's not forget about the real reason we're all here watching this video right now. This episode is fucking terrifying. The Doctor tells Sally about the horrors of the Weeping Angels, their powers, their speed, their abilities, and whatever happens, do not blink. This leads to some horrendous jump scare scenes that, for a show primarily aimed at kids and young teens, was one hell of a concept to deliver upon. And they did. I was 12 when Blink first aired, and I fucking shit myself several times here. Not only do the angels jump scare you to fuck, the score for this episode includes this disgusting squeaking type instrument that sounds like nails down a chalkboard. hearing that just makes it sink right into you. It's horrible. The angels become increasingly hostile, most of the time covering their faces with their hands and smiling beneath. But then, when in attack mode, they unveil their fangs and sharp talons to try and take out Sally and Lawrence. The Weeping Angels have become the centerpiece of the revived series of Doctor Who, returning to the show several times, including most recently in Flux, and appearing as an enemy in several video games. But they've never been as scary as they are right here, and the mechanics of how they work as a monster hasn't been done as well as this, even with the multiple stories that have followed. Blink is a miraculous episode because it added a concept to the viewers' minds. Not every statue is a weeping angel, but every statue could be, and that injected the fear of statues into the public eye a lot more, with a heavy dose of automatophobia. The Wester Drumlin setting is also super creepy, a dark, dilapidated mansion with ivy growing through the cracked walls, and plenty of dimly lit corridors and dark corners for the angels to lurk in, only adding to the overall atmosphere that Blink possesses. Still to this day, it's the highest rated episode in the show's history on IMDb, and is pretty accessible for non-Whovians as the Doctor plays a very small part in the overall story. It's primarily a one-off episode that should definitely be experienced sooner or later, whether you're a Whovian or not. But what do you lot reckon of Blink? Scariest episode ever, or could you handle the stony demons? Let me know in the comments below, as well as any other Doctor Who episodes you'd like me to cover. Another thing that only takes a blink of an eye to do is clicking the subscribe button, which would be much appreciated, or else you may end up in a time and place very far from where you're sitting. Good night, and sweet nightmare-fueled dreams, my angels.